Hi, everyone. On this episode of the Mortgage Message Show, we're talking with Kim Moustis and Lauren Linder of the Kim Moustis Group of Keller Williams Experience in Downers Grove about who's selling in the spring of 2021. Hi, everyone. My name is Joe LaGiglia, and welcome to another episode of the Mortgage Message Show. We're here today in Downers Grove at Keller Williams Experience, joined with my two guests, Kim Moustis and Lauren Linder of the Kim Moustis Group of Keller Williams Experience. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I'm super excited because as we were talking before the show started, this was actually our first episode of Mortgage Message for this series. And Lauren, just thank you for being a great partner. Kim, you as well. And I really wanted to get you guys highlighted to my audience today to talk about a very specific subject, real estate teams. So many of my guests that we've had up to this point, it's been real estate agents, and certainly there may or may not be teams behind them. But today I really wanted to focus on the value of a buyer or a seller working with a team when it comes to their real estate needs. So I think maybe for starters, Kim, I'd like to ask you, first off, give a little bit of background of your getting into the real estate industry, and then we're going to kind of maybe go into teams a little bit here.
Okay, thank you. And thanks for the opportunity to talk with us today.
Absolutely.
I have been in the real estate industry 20 years. And I started as a single agent. I was a single agent actually for almost 15 years. Had the opportunity to come to Keller Williams and grow a team. I had been hitting my ceiling as an individual agent and just knew that there was more that I needed to provide for my clients, and that was the best experience in their real estate transaction. So I came to Keller Williams. I hired an administrative assistant, and then I hired another administrative assistant, and then I came and hired two buyer specialists. And we are partners on the team. Lauren is one of the buyer specialists, and she's amazing.
Absolutely.
And so we've been together almost 2 years, and it works wonderfully. I think the biggest reason that teams work well, in my estimation, is that there's always someone available to service our clients, and that's what we want to do. If you're an individual agent and you want to take a day off or you want to go on a vacation and your client needs to see something, especially in this market, see something immediately, they can't. If you're trying to deal with a seller or with a listing and you need to answer questions, you need to be available. So one of us is always available, and we find that when we all stay in our lane and let us work to our strengths, it works really well.
I was just going to say that's such a fantastic description of the benefits of working with a team when it comes to your real estate needs, and thank you for that. I don't think I've ever heard it described that way, and that was really good. Watching what you just described actually play out over the last few years, as you mentioned, being introduced to you by my dear friend Lauren here, and seeing your group grow, not just on the buy and the sell side, but your footprint in the community and the events that you do. It's been remarkable to see that growth over such a short period of time, and I'd be hard-pressed not to say that it had to do with teams and all you guys coming together, as you said, with that culture. Lauren, having you, as Kim mentioned, on the buy side, and have worked together on so many, and you giving that wow experience to so many clients, just from your perspective, what does teams mean to you, and how has that helped your career?
Oh gosh. Well, in terms of being a newer agent, so I've only been doing this for 6 years to her 20. As a team member, you come in and your learning curve is cut in half, right? You go to real estate school, they teach you all the things that you'll never use again, right? And then you have to come in, yes, write contracts, service your clients, show homes, and unlock a lockbox, which no one knows how to do. Right. So you come in, you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. When you're on a team, I have her, I have my other buyer's agent, I have my administrative team that we can ask questions, bounce ideas. And I'm on the road so much looking for homes for my buyers. A lot of times I don't know the answer and I can't get the answer quickly. So I'll just call Emily, my admin, and say, hey, can you find this out? Yep, got it, Lauren. And I have a text message 10 minutes later. So the learning curve is cut in half, and just getting information and knowledge is way faster.
I think it's such a strong point, too, for buyers and sellers to know that, because when working with someone who's part of a team, that the answers are going to come to you in a much more efficient way from what you just described. I think it's great. we're entering into this 2021 market, and teams, I think now more than ever, from my perspective, but I'm going to let you guys answer why, I think working with a real estate agent that's part of a team such as the Kim Moustis Group there's no other way to go. Why, especially in this season of pandemic, hopefully us coming out of it, why would a team be such a better group to work with on all the different aspects? And let's start with the buy side, Kim, if you can.
I think with the buy side, like I mentioned earlier, there's always someone that is available to show a property. We are deep in a seller's market, and so there's not a lot of inventory. We are down 30 to sometimes 60%, depending on the area. And so the buyers need to get in the properties before they even hit the market. And when you're on a team, there's always someone that's going to be able to show you that property as soon as we can get our buyers in there. Again, it's the wow experience. It's the customer experience with the entire real estate transaction from beginning to end that is so important for us, because we do all of our business by referral. And so if we give one buyer or one seller a great experience, they're going to tell their friends and their family, and that's how we want to work, and that's how we have been working.
So powerful, so powerful. And thinking of that, as you described so well on the buy side, it seems a little bit more clear why working with the team is so important. On the sell side, and Kim, I want to bring this one back to you again. On the sell side, talk about maybe who's selling, why they're selling, why working with a team during this season of life with the pandemic. How does all that come together on the side of teams?
Well, I think with the sellers that we're with, dual agency, and I'm just going to touch on dual agency a little bit.
Please.
Sometimes we have buyers for our own listings, but in order to accurately and fairly represent, I would not want to work with the buyer when it's my listing. So I would pass the buyer, whether it be a buyer from our sphere of influence, a buyer from the sign, a buyer from from the internet ads. I would pass that on to one of the other agents, and we keep everything separate. Everyone needs to feel like they are getting a fair deal for the property, and if we can service our sellers by not having 70 showings and having them represented and bring the buyer in to them, that just helps, I think, tremendously. And Lauren, you can speak to that as well. We're constantly in contact with each other. What kind of buyers do we have, and what are we looking for? What listings do we have coming up? Do we have a buyer for that listing? So I think that's a great opportunity for both buyers and sellers when they're working with a team.
That's perfect. Yeah, Lauren, just to add to that, I heard Kim make a statement before we started taping. She called it right sizing. And I thought that was really cool. I've never heard it said that way, so I wanted to make sure I highlighted it on the show. But thinking about who's selling and maybe families are being joined together more than before, just kind of talk about how all that may come into play in 2021 if you can.
Yeah, what we're seeing on the buy side is definitely from COVID. So there is a lot of right sizing, but in a different way. So we're working with clients that have moved out of state, internationally, and they're like, wow, I don't see my family. I can't see them at all. So they're moving back. Illinois is not known for having people move back to the state. No. So that's a big shift. We're seeing families bringing their moms and dads of an older age into their own homes, because if they put them into a community, they can't see them because of COVID. Kim has a senior designation, and so she works a lot with families that are either working with mom and dad who passed away or who are elderly, in getting the homes ready to sell during a pandemic, which can be really hard if you have someone that's at risk. We're seeing a lot of shifts in different ways in terms of upsizing, downsizing, and what we're now calling right sizing, because it goes both ways.
I love it. And I think it's a good kind of encompassing comments regarding buying and selling in 2021. When you guys have been working together here for a while as far as the team approach, and I would love, just for fun, to kind of talk about maybe some lessons along the way that you've learned working together. I can imagine it may not always be roses and things like that, but I just would be interested to know, from a learning curve, you guys look like you work together so well. But I would imagine at times there's some fun things that may come up as you work together. Maybe you might have one that comes to mind, or maybe a story that you could share as far as learning how to work together.
Gosh, well, I mean, I can say, and I said from the very beginning, Lauren is a younger version of me.
That's correct.
A way younger version of me.
Aren't we beautiful?
But we
Absolutely.
we actually met at a class years ago.
Yeah.
And we reconnected because she showed one of my listings, and we started just meeting for coffee and talking to each other. And she said, "Can you help me with, how you've grown your business only by referral and only with the people you know?" And kind of the rest is history. And so when I hear in her voice that she's a little stressed, it's like, I know exactly how she feels because she's me.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
Well, I think it's it comes out. It's so apparent, just the cohesiveness of the group, and you guys have a ton of fun, and the friendships that come from it. And I know every time we connect on a contract, it's just feel like everyone we're dealing with is just a bunch of friends working together.
Well, and we truly like each other. And that's what, there's 5 of us totally on the team. So 2 on the operations team, and they are rock stars. And then 2 buyers specialists. And then I happen to be just doing the listings right now, the listing specialist. But when we all get together, we have so much fun and we laugh. And perfect example, we had our business planning meeting. It was supposed to be like lunch, and then I had a couple of little fun surprises. And I thought, okay, well, they'll leave by dinner or like right after 10:30. They were still at my house because we were outside because of COVID. And we just really have a great time together. We respect each other and know each other well enough now that we really help each other out without anyone even asking what they need. We kind of can foresee what the other person needs, and
it shows. It really does show. And I think there's an old adage that you guys obviously live by, which if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. So,
we have fun.
Absolutely.
We definitely have fun, and we respect each other.
And
Yeah.
I think we push each other a lot, and professionally, but also like this one's like, I'm not taking a
This
vacation.
one.
I can't leave. Well, we convinced her, thank God, right before COVID, to go to Argentina, right?
Yes.
And so, and then she
Yes.
pushes me, okay, take a break, go to Colorado type thing. I got you. I'm going to cover you. So we make sure that we have that balance. And again, pushing each other outside of our comfort zone.
Absolutely.
In many ways.
I think it's great. I think there's a lot of lessons here, but one that's coming to mind is just surround yourself with good people. And you guys have clearly done that, which is great. Lauren, looking at 2021, we've already had a couple events in the books, but just even beyond community events, which you guys do such a great part of. But when you look at the Kim Moustis group moving into this year, with everything that's happening, we think it's going to be a busy year. We know there's an inventory issue, but we know there's going to be a ton of buyers coming to the forefront here, and people looking to sell. What is it that you see for 2021 that you guys are really kind of maybe a 1 or 2 line focus on for the group to grow and to be able to bring the best to your clients? What's some of the things that are on the horizon for you that you guys are looking at?
Well, I can take that first.
Take
I
it.
guess.
Yeah.
And
So
I would absolutely give Kim a chance.
we are,
No,
we are
take it.
pushing ourselves with video. Obviously, we're talking to you here. And we find that, especially with the pandemic, people are on video. They're on Zoom. They're on these things. And that's how they're really getting their information. So we are taking active steps to be more proactive in giving information that way.
Yeah.
And really building out that social media in that way.
And I think it's wonderful to be, because we know, and even in this point, knowing what you just said is factual, there's agents that still aren't comfortable with video, but that is the new normal, and you guys have embraced it wholeheartedly. Kim, anything you want to add to that as far as moving into 2021?
I think we are going to focus this year, not only, last year we did a lot more business to business relationships, especially in the small business area when COVID came and so many businesses were struggling. We partnered with different businesses, tried to help them, they helped us, we wanted to give them exposure, and it was just a win-win. This year, one of our big initiatives is doing a charitable event every quarter. And we just want to give back to the community and be a face in the community. Oh, these are the people that are always doing something. These are the people we see giving back. So it's not ever about taking, but it's always about giving. So we're actually going to be doing a food drive in around Valentine's Day called Spread the Love.
Wonderful.
So that's our first quarter initiative for our charitable event.
Yeah, we'll make sure to boost that. And I just want to say, to your point, I think just having known you guys as long as I have, and I share this as a cosign for my audience, when good people like you do these events that come from the heart, it really does show. And so I'm excited to see what that's going to mean for this year and the amount of people you're going to help in the process. So that's so great. Well, I'm excited because I know we're going to do a ton this year, and just really helping people either get into their home, get out of their home. And I just love that right sizing. I love that. I'm going to use that if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you too, and
Yes.
all the support that you give us and our clients. You're Johnny on the spot, and you're easy to get in touch with, and the buyers love you, and so we will continue to partner with you as one of our best preferred lenders.
Well, thank you so kindly. So Kim and Lauren, someone watching right now, maybe thinking about buying, thinking about selling, or really maybe something we talked about, just wants them to have a further conversation with you. Please, both of you, take a second and say the best way someone can get in contact with you. We'll start with you, Kim.
You can reach me at my cell phone, which is 630-244-0451. My website is kimmoustisgroup.com, or email is my name, kim@kimmoustis.com.
Fantastic. And Lauren, for
Lauren?
you as well.
Yeah, I would say shoot a message through Facebook at Lauren Linder, Kim Moustis Group, or my cell phone as well, texting 630-290-6115.
So great. Well, Kim, Lauren, thank you for your time. We know you're busy. So excited to be able to showcase you guys to my audience. And to my audience, thank you again for being here. We appreciate your time. We know it's valuable. We hope that something within this episode triggered you to want to further the conversation with Kim and Lauren. Feel free to share, comment, and attach somebody to this episode. We know it can help. My name is Joe LaGiglia. This is the Mortgage Message Show. We'll see you next week, everybody. Take care.